What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we are covering Star-Lord's Hero Pack, all of his 15 cards plus his hero and alter ego side. Um, so let's get right into it, shall we? We're going to start off with the hero as we normally do. Or this right here. The hero is actually going to be a 4. So he's a 2/2/1. He's a Guardian. Each ally you control gains the Guardian trait. That kind of bumps him up on my scale already because any ally you throw out there gets a Guardian trait. He's the leader of Guardians, makes sense. So it's 2/2 is decent. The 1 is really low. What could go wrong? Interrupt. When you play a card from your hand, deal yourself one face down encounter card. Reduce the resource cost to play that card by 3. Now, reducing it by 3 is a big game changer, especially since in his pack, a lot of cards are worth 3, so you kind of want to use this ability. But because you're able to do this, you can play more cards from your hand, which is very good, which is why he's a 4. Moving on to his alter ego. His alter ego is also a 4. There's only a 3-cost recovery, which is normal. It's an outlaw setup. Search your deck and discard power for a copy of the element gun, upgrade and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So the way I was playing this, all these cards are based off playing Claw 4 times with all 4 aspects. So the way I played this, if I got it in my first hand, I would keep it in my hand, get rid of anything I didn't think I needed, and then find it so I would have both element guns in my hand right away at the start of the game. That way I could at least play one and then get the next one out probably the next turn. So that's why it's probably add a 3, and then the next card. Choose a card in your hand, swap that card with the top card of your deck. So this allows you to, if you don't want to, if you have, for instance, a sliding shot and you don't want to use it, you can swap it out to possibly use the other card instead to pay for something else. So that's why his alter ego is actually a 4 for me. Moving on to his ally, Nova Prime. Nova Prime is actually a 3. 5-cost ally, 2/3/3, Aerial Nova Core. Kind of bummed he's not a Guardian, but is what is the response. After you play Nova Prime from your hand, defeat a non-elite minion. Wild resource. So cost of 5 kind of set him to do a 2 at first, but then also with Star-Lord's ability to reduce it down to 2 and play it, kind of bumps him up, and then his ability defeat a non-elite minion like right off, right when you play him, as long as from your hand. That's a really good card, but this was against Claw, so all his minions were non-elite. So going on to the newer villains, which have elite minions, this card might not be so good now. But for this game, it was decent. It was a 3 in my book. Moving on to Daring Escape. Daring Escape is another 3. 0-cost event. Deal yourself one face down encounter card, ready your hero, and draw 1 card. So as long as you can play, I'd probably say Sliding Shot in the same turn, this is a very good card to have because this will allow you to deal more damage with Sliding Shot, and also Gutsy Move, which allows you to remove extra threat as well. So very, very solid card to have as long as you're ready for those encounter cards and to have them bump you up. Moving on to Gutsy Move. Gutsy Move is actually going to be a 0 in my book because I didn't play it at all. Not once. 2-cost event, Gutsy Move. Hero action thwart. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Remove 2 additional threat from that scheme for each face down encounter card in front of you. Mental resource. So this card can be very good with Daring Escape because you're just adding on to the encounter cards, which bumps this card higher. Otherwise, 2 for 2, not that great. So I always use it to pay for something else. I never played this card. That's why it's a 0. Sliding Shot is going to be a 4. I loved having this card, especially when I had Daring Escape with it, to bump it up even more. 3-cost event for 5 damage. That's already pretty good. Play only if you control an element gun. Oh, I didn't even realize that, but I always had an element gun on me. Deal 5 damage to an enemy. Deal 2 additional damage to the enemy for each face down encounter card in front of you. Strength resource. So basically, you use your hero ability to put a card in front of you, then you play this card, that's 7 damage right there for a cost of 3. Which is a lot better than just 5. Because 3 for 5, nah. I mean, it's something, but I'm just glad it has an additional caveat to that. But that's a 4. I always loved playing it whenever I got it in my hand. Moving on to Bad Boy. Bad Boy is another 0 because I didn't play it once. 3 cost support. When you take any amount of damage from the villain's attack, discard this card, prevent all that damage. Change to alter ego form and draw 2 cards. Strength resource. Now, it's a good card, I think, but I just never played it. I always used it to play for something else. There was nothing in my hand that... There's no reason for me to put this down, at least during this scenario. That's why it's a 0. I mean, its ability is decent. Prevent all that damage, change alter ego form, and draw 2 cards. It's not horrible. It's not horrible, but I didn't play it. I didn't play it for a little bit. Element Gun. Element Gun is another 4. 3 cost upgrade. Restricted. Exhaust Element Gun and spend 1 resource of any type. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. This attack gains piercing. Energy resource. Now, you can use your hero ability just to play this, or just pay for 3 and play it. Why it's a 4 is because it deals 3 damage and gains piercing. The caveat is you do have to spend a resource, but I think that is a good payoff for being able to play it for free, essentially, and getting 3 damage with piercing. So 1 resource, not that bad. That is why that's a 4, because you can deal 6 damage along with... If both these are out, you can deal 6 damage plus Star-Lord's 2 for 8, and then if you have a sliding shot, that's at least 13 damage right there. Moving on to Jet Boots. Jet Boots is going to be a 1. 2 cost upgrade. Item tech. Star-Lord gains the aerial trait. Hero interrupt when Star-Lord would take any amount of damage. Exhaust Jet Boots. Prevent 1 of that damage for each face-down encounter card in front of you. Mental resource. Now you can see why this can be super good, especially since it works with his encounter cards. But I never played it. I always use it to pay for something else at the time. Surprisingly, I didn't play most of his cards, even though with his ability I could pay for cards. But I could play. I use this to pay for like other basic cards or stuff like that. But it's a 1 because I do like its ability. If it can trigger off nicely with the encounter cards you have. Now, Leader of the Guardians is going to be another 1. So 3 cost upgrade. It's a title. Each Guardian character you control gets +1 thwart. So this is only... I never played this. This is only a 1 because of Star-Lord's... not really ability, but passive ability, where every ally he has becomes a guardian. So this gives every ally you play a +1 thwart, which is super nice. But like I said, I never played it. 3 costs for 1 thwart across the board. It's A. So, but that's a 1. Moving on to Star-Lord's helmet. That is another 4. Doesn't really matter. This doesn't matter. Okay. 1 cost upgrade, which is awesome. Armor tech. While you are in hero form, you get +1 hand size for each face down encounter card in front of you to a maximum of +3 hand size. Mental resource. This is really good, especially when you playing Daring Escape. I always wanted to get my element guns out and this gun out, and then I was just having a fun time playing him. I mean, that's 4 bigger hand sizes plus using his ability to reduce the cost by 3 with an encounter card. Great. This is a very good card in his deck. Alright, that's all the cards. It is across the board, really. I haven't had this happen before. But the overall score that I gave him was 6.5 out of 10. These cards really brought that down. I feel like his deck is half and half for me. Like, it's really good, and it's also really bad. So take with it what you can. Let me know in the comments what you think, what cards you think should probably be higher, and what cards you think should probably be lower. And what score you would give him out of 10. Other than that, please like and subscribe. I have all my social links in the details below. And And with that, we will see you next time. Deuces.